and welcome back to the Weird and Proud podcast. It's Sam and
James.
Jams. Hope you all are having a great week. We're getting into the last week of March, which is crazy. Crazy. You're listening to this on a Monday. Hopefully, maybe not. Hopefully, you're having a great start to your week. And we've got a great show for you guys today. We're gonna talk about a couple of things, catch up a little bit, especially on our trip to Florida. Little update on the TikTok ban. I don't know who cares about that, or if you do care about that. I know I've been getting a ton of questions, a lot of DMs that people think that I know certain things, and of course I have been paying attention. But I'll give you a little bit of update, and then we're also going to talk about irrational fears, or like lies you were told as a child, like by your parents or by teachers or whoever, like an adult figure, that either like you still kind of believe, or like it wasn't until a lot later in life that was a complete lie. Obviously other than like holidays and Santa Claus and stuff. And there's a cat. Hi, kitty. Hopefully you're watching on the YouTube. We have lots of animals in the screen. Well, there's lots of animals in the room right now. We have 3 animals in the room. You can only see, well, you could see one of them. But make sure you're watching on YouTube if you have not subscribed. And this is just internal dialogue, but I have been considering making like an own Weird and Proud YouTube page.
We should.
I know, like everyone, not everyone, but I've had a couple people be like, you should keep those separate. So I'm trying to decide on what to do. But in the meantime, Sam Ramsell, youtube.com. I think it's like /Sam Ramsell. Or if you just look up Weird and Proud, it should pop up. And then, of course, we have our weird secrets from you listeners. We have a couple of them. So we'll make sure to go over a couple of those at the end, which is, of course,
my favorite.
Yes, a fan favorite. And one of my favorites. I have a lot of favorites.
I love the secrets.
Yeah, secrets are great. So James, how are you? Long time no see.
I'm great.
We have had a busy weekend of trying to be contractors and put up walls.
We should definitely start a drywall business.
Yeah, James was like, we should like take this on the road. The fact that we both really had, I mean, you've never put up drywall before.
I actually have put up drywall.
Really?
Long time ago.
Right
around the college age. But I was with some people that were contractors, and I was just kind of helping them pick up drywall, tape it. It wasn't like this was way more complicated than what I did.
Yeah. And if you don't know what we're talking about, on the Instagrams, there was a video that we did. We tried to do an OJ. Well, we did do it, actually. That was like probably the one that
we did it.
We got like
it
right off
right
the
at
bat.
The end.
And on the way down, on the end of the challenge, which you just have to watch it. So go to my Instagram, Sam Ramsell 5. You'll see it. And we cracked a huge, well, actually, technically it was my ass, which
buns of steel.
Yeah, it makes me kind of feel good about myself.
Hell yeah, you should.
Booty. Cracked a huge hole, like not even like a little, like this was like almost took up the entire wall.
I can give you the dimensions. It was 4 feet tall by 2 feet wide.
Yes,
it was like a toddler size. 4 feet by 2 feet.
Literally a toddler could have fit in there. Yeah, so good times. Make sure you check that out. Luckily that video is doing well. Thank God. That it would have sucked if like it, didn't do well either as a video. But at least it kind of made it.
Talk about total improv. There was no parts of that.
Yeah,
that was not a breakaway wall. We did not stage that.
Yeah, a lot of times, you can tell in a lot of these challenges when people like fake stuff, or obviously it's staged or planned on what they're going to try to do. This, you will tell it was not planned.
Nope.
Anyways,
I had someone ask me today, that someone at the gym saw that one and asked me about it, and he goes, was that at all planned, what you said at the end of it?
Oh, how you said fuck?
Well, yeah. And I'm like, no, we just reacted.
And it was just so funny too that I literally had said, this is the only wall we have.
That was the best part. Right at the beginning of the video. This is the only wall we have. And now that wall is
Yeah.
compromised.
And I just meant like we don't have like our place is not huge. You've seen my lavish house tour. I've given a lavish house tour. Not a lot of space in here. Very small. And this house is old, built in 1908. So definitely haunted for sure. But Florida. We were in Florida. I think we had mentioned that before. We were in Florida and just got back Tuesday night. Stupid, dumb, idiotic Florida.
Why was it stupid, dumb, and idiotic?
It was, first of all, we were going there. We mostly it was my dad's birthday. It was his 65th birthday. He wanted to go somewhere warm and somewhere we could get sunshine. And we, upon much, deliberation between the family members, we were like, all right, we got to do something we can all go to together that's not too crazy expensive. And we all decided to go, Florida, which isn't too, not too far away. And my dad was like, oh, I have friends who live in St. Petersburg, Florida, which is like 30 minutes outside of Tampa. It's gorgeous. It's like kind of like on its own little peninsula, and there's great beaches and all this outdoor activity. And of course, we go when it is 50 degrees, freezing cold, windy. Like, luckily it didn't rain too much, but the weather, I think the warmest day was like 64.
We got, and I always find the annoyingly positive, we got better weather than what we had thought going.
Yeah,
there.
we did like a week out, we're looking
A
at the
week
weather
out, it
and we
looked
were like,
way
oh my God, it was
worse.
supposed to pour. So like, I guess that's at least a little bit better. We're like, well, at least it didn't pour. But we got like this place with a pool and we were like, we'll be outside the whole time. And we were outside. We were just fucking freezing. So, and I'm still trying to do the whole not drinking thing.
You did amazing.
And I think I had like a couple drinks. Like one night for my dad's birthday, we did like a shot, and I was trying to be good, but it's tough when there's literally nothing else to do and you're on vacation.
And there was, I don't think nobody pressured you, but it's tough because we were all like golfing.
It is
We were
tough.
doing our little putt golf thing.
Yeah, it is.
Me
tough.
and your dad and your brother play games all day long.
Yeah,
and we have a few beverages while doing it.
Yeah, it's tough being, I mean,
it's got to be hard for you.
Yeah, it's more like it's always tough being around really, really, really drunk people. Like it's fine if like people are drinking, and it's not like either of you guys were like
we
really
all
drunk.
We stayed good. I mean, we didn't get like crazy.
Yeah, but like even when we were out, like one of the nights we went out for St. Patrick's Day, and it was like everyone was wasted, and it's like, it's hard to like talk to someone who's wasted when you're completely sober. Like a conversation with someone when they're like blacked out and you're sober is like, it's tough. But anyways, it was fine. Ended up being fine. But I would have loved some weather. And yeah, we really don't, for our next like real trip, we go to Spain in May, which will be amazing.
Yay.
But I want to, I was really craving like a layout in the sun, like 80 degree.
I know. I'm sorry.
You know what? You can't always get what you want. And speaking of can't always getting what you want.
Do you know who sings that?
No. Who?
You don't?
Taylor Swift?
Yes.
Who?
Correct answer. Rolling Stones.
Rolling Stones.
I should have made you
Rolling
guess.
Stones.
Very famous band.
I just said that.
Rolling Stones. I just said it. You can edit that in.
Yeah. And also updates on the TikTok ban for those who do care. Really, really quick. I'm like on the fence if I think it's going to be banned or not. The TikTok CEO went in front of Congress and he said his thing, and which it's just, I mean, if you're on TikTok, you've probably seen the clips of it, of like Congress like asking this poor CEO questions, but like, these people just have obviously never been on TikTok or don't really know much about it. And it's interesting, everyone's saying the one craziest thing is how this has been like the one biggest issue in like I don't even know how long, that both sides, both Republicans and Democrats, both feel the exact same way, where they're both like, we hate TikTok, down with TikTok. So it's like the one thing, if anything, has united our political parties. So it's kind of interesting.
They've they've got enough other things that they should be
Well, that's
seeing
what
on that they
like
can take care of. This is such a stupid distraction to me.
I know.
They
Well,
have way bigger things that they should be working on together and saying,
right.
we're idiots. Let's fix this
Yeah.
important stuff.
Yep.
And here they go attacking TikTok. No,
Yeah.
no,
Well, the
thank you.
biggest things is number one, like children's safety, which, like, of course, like if they want, they really are trying to find ways to make it so that kids under 13 can't go on. They're trying to make it so,
I believe that's called parenting.
yeah, well, that's the other argument too. Is it's like, why don't you just parent your kids? But the other thing, is even kids under 18, they're trying to put an hour maximum. So after an hour, it kicks you off. Obviously there are ways around it, and then the other thing, of course, is like all the information that apparently China is getting on U.S. citizens, which is like,
That's universal though. That you can't.
well, it's like, and
Yeah,
then that's like
that's so.
Facebook, Meta,
Google
Instagram,
has
yeah,
so much.
Google, right? It's like there's Alexa in our house. It's like listening. It's like if I, most people think that it's really like the one platform that a lot of people can really communicate, easily, and a lot of topics that you don't see on the news. It's just things you would never see that you're able to learn about, especially when it comes to either politics or just like stories that wouldn't necessarily make the news that we all should know about. And it was funny. I was on TikTok and a video had popped up, and it was about all of these chemicals that are banned from pretty much every other country, or like at least big, countries that we compete against, like Europe and Canada, and all of these products are chemicals that are in US food that the FDA allows but is banned in every other country, and it's like been found to cause cancer, and there's this whole list. And there's this whole video on it, and there's it had like 10 million views, and everyone in the comments was like, see, it's things like this that like they don't want us to know about. This is why they wanted to ban TikTok, because people are having these conversations.
And sorry to chime in on this one. You know how I feel about these kind. It's one. We all know that there's a bunch of. Even though, yes, I drink alcohol, which is stupid, and then I say this, but there are. We've known this forever. All these, even in Gatorade, even in stuff that we all love, have tons of dyes and
Red
preservatives.
40 is like one that they always talk about.
It's banned everywhere, basically, but the United States. There are much bigger things that these guys could tend to agree on and not let just money drive their decisions.
Right.
And figure it out.
Well, it's so funny.
TikTok thing is so dumb.
I know, it's literally, well, that's, and everyone, of course, the argument is like, yeah, like, don't you have other things if you're trying to protect the children? Like, there are
fix the school system,
fix the schools, gun violence,
pay teachers more,
fentanyl, and like all the drug overdoses, and drug use and mental health. Like, obviously, yeah, social media does play a part, but a lot of it too is like, I don't know, it goes a little to parenting, it goes to like environments,
pay teachers more, get more surrounding. If we're going to have a public school system, invest your time, energy, and effort in that.
Right.
Agree on something and make the changes that we know that works.
Yeah. Anyways, craziness. So who knows? I am on the fence. I've seen like some really big TikTok creators though, like making goodbye videos, kind of.
Really?
Like, being like, if this goes through, you know where to find me. And so it's just interesting. But it's also like, it happened a couple years ago too. Trump said the exact same thing. Who knows though? I really don't know. Like, if I were a betting woman, I think I'd say again, like, I don't think it's going to happen, but I also, just because everyone in Congress is so up their buttholes about
you know what will make it happen?
What?
The election.
And that's another
We're
thing
almost
too.
in an election
I
year.
know.
Just the only reason this is a thing is they want to see what public opinion is. If it helps somebody get elected or reelected, they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Because this is, I still see no point in this in my mind.
Yeah. Stupid. Um anyways, speaking of stupid, I'm trying to work on my transition. Speaking of stupid, let's chat about I saw there was like a thread about this somewhere and I thought it was hilarious and I wrote down a bunch of these like fears or like irrational fears slash again like lies you were told as a kid that you believed. And it also just like brought a lot of stuff up and still they're like things that I think about all the time, obviously, like that you're told as a kid that you shouldn't do. So I'm curious if you've been told some of these, James, and also if you have any others that you can add on.
Many.
I'll start out with this because this one really like, not only was like I feel like it was like known by like teachers, like by camps, and this was the infamous you cannot go swimming after you've eaten for at least a half an hour. And it was like if you swim right after you eat, you are gonna cramp and die. Like, it was like you're gonna cramp up and like it's like life or death. Like it's a life or death situation.
Absolutely.
Was that what you were told to?
Oh, a
What was
little
yours?
bit, but then some. Well, both my dad was a doctor, mom was a nurse. Eventually, they were like, "No, that's not real."
Mm. Right. But that was
that one I got by, but I have heard that one plenty of times.
Yep. The other one was, and I was just thinking, and I think we've talked about this a little bit too, was about milk and like how obsessed my parents and like even just like everyone's parents, I feel like when we were growing up, obsession with milk that you have to drink. We could not leave the dinner table until we drank an entire cup of milk for breakfast and lunch. Like you got the little like the
cartons.
Yeah, the cartons, and it was you could get like it was different types of milk. Like there wasn't water. Like we never were told to drink water. I literally think I don't ever remember drinking water as a kid. I don't think I like literally ever drank water. It was milk. And I remember I hated milk. Like there was never a time when I'm like, like let me have a cup of milk. Like maybe if I'm having an Oreo or like a cookie, then yeah, I would love a glass of milk. But I'm just not raw dogging milk. I'm not having a hamburger or like having pasta with milk. Disgusting. And like they would say your bones are going to get brittle. Like you're not going to be strong enough to grow up because your bones, the milk builds your bones. Turns out it was all just a scheme by the government to get us to drink more dairy.
I love milk.
Or the dairy. It was the dairy who influenced the government to be
I
like,
have milk in the fridge right now.
I just thought of another one too. Were you told that?
About milk?
If you don't drink milk, you'll
I'm from Wisconsin.
Yeah.
That's what we drink.
Were you like, did you have to drink a cup of milk before you left the dinner table?
No one ever had to tell me to drink milk. I would guzzle.
Ew, of course you did. Why?
I have milk in the fridge. I drink it almost every day, except it's raw milk.
Right. Well, that's the difference too. We also drink skim milk.
Oh, I used to drink even in college because you had to get your protein, and I was a poor college student. And back then, I'm old. Protein powders back then were one, expensive, and two, tasted awful. Yeah. They're nothing like protein powders can be pretty good these days.
Yeah, we're right.
They were terrible. So I used to have like 8 cups of milk on my tray.
Ew. Mm-hmm. Wow, that explains so much.
After working out? Oh, yeah. I used to hammer milk.
As a post-workout.
Oh, my God. I would pound it.
Yeah.
Big peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
And milk.
Bunch of milk. Oh,
ew,
yeah.
James. You should be ashamed of
yourself. I'm so happy. So proud of myself.
What made me think it was also drinking coffee would make you shrink. Drinking coffee stunted your growth. So like anytime like, parents are always drinking coffee and I'm like, I want a cup of coffee. And they'd be like, no, it stunts your growth. Liars.
You know what else?
What?
Fine. We'll be on a health kick the whole time. Weightlifting. Weightlifting absolutely in no way, shape, or form stunts youth's growth.
I've never heard that.
You haven't heard that one? That was a big one.
No.
You're not supposed to lift weights until you get
Or a
older or
certain
go
age.
through. So, nope.
Yeah, no, that's
Has been
stupid.
proven totally as that was a completely incorrect. It was going to hurt your growth discs.
Interesting. I've never heard that.
Yep, that was a big one for athletes.
Huh.
Though people still preach it. Oh, there's plenty of people
Who
that
still
still
preach
that
you
still
shouldn't?
say when you're a
That's
kid
the
you shouldn't
dumbest
lift
thing I've
weights.
ever heard.
Yeah, it's stupid.
People are stupid. Oh, this is another one. Was turning the light, like if you're driving at night, and if my parents were driving, if they're like, if you turn on the car light when it's dark out, we're gonna get arrested.
I was never told arrested, but I was told it was extremely unsafe for the driver, so you're not supposed to do it.
Well, and which, like, obviously as an adult now, like, yeah, it is like hard to see if someone has the light on
It's
in
physics.
the car. But like my parents are like, we're gonna get it. You're not legally allowed to have the light.
That's funny. No, that's a good one. I
Now
give
I'm
them
just realizing
kudos.
how much I've been lied to.
I give them kudos.
I've just been lied to my whole life. It was the same like when I would talk too much and they'd be like, you're only allowed to ask 3 questions a day, or else God gets mad at you.
Well, we can just talk about how much religion lies in general.
Well, we don't have to make it that controversial.
No, we won't.
But yeah, liars, all of them. Okay, here's the thing that I feel like I still believed until like I did, like I can't remember where I saw this, probably on TikTok. Like this whole rumor around humans swallow on average 8 spiders like a lifetime when they sleep. Have you heard of that?
I absolutely. I had not heard whether that is confirmed or not.
No, because like, well, like a lot of like, I must have been on social media somewhere that like they were showing that like that literally most spiders aren't gonna crawl into your mouth.
That makes more sense. I haven't thought about that one in forever. I've absolutely heard that one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, who made that up? Who's out here making up spiders, making spiders
Well,
look
that's
bad?
a better follow-up next episode. Let's find out where all these things actually started.
Right.
There's got to be some sort of website that like
right.
Urban Myths Exposed or something.
Yeah.
You know what show I did used to love?
What?
Mythbusters.
Oh, that was a good show. Where did that show go?
I think those guys knowingly worked together, but they did not like each other. That part I know.
I didn't know that.
There
what
was a
that
younger
network that it was on.
I think it was on Discovery Channel, wasn't
Was
it?
it?
Was Mythbusters on Discovery? Now I'm making stuff up.
Cable.
I might be
Do
lying
you
to
remember
someone.
Cable?
What? Oh, the TV thing.
Cable. Yeah, I do. I love that show. You
I
know what?
might be History Channel maybe.
You know what?
History or Discovery.
Randomly, I think about all the time from Mythbusters.
Which one?
They were trying to break a myth of whether, if it's raining out, what's the way to get least wet? To walk or to run? Do you remember that one?
I absolutely remember this one. I can't remember the outcome though.
I think it was, if you're running, you get wetter.
That makes sense.
I think I could be making that up, but I remember like I'll think about that when it's raining out, and I'm like, oh, what did the Mythbusters guys say that? You know, crazy stuff. So much you learn. Mythbusters was the old TikTok.
And it depends on the amount of rain coming down.
Right, and how long you have to go. You know, like how much you have.
I would think if it's raining.
Don't hurt yourself, James.
I'm trying to do the math in my head.
Don't hurt your brain. That's okay. We can look it up later.
We're gonna look that one up.
We'll look it up. The one other one that I had wrote down is, and this is like probably more for the girls, but my mom, anytime like we were getting my hair done, or like, she was braiding my hair, or like trying to get me to, I don't even know, like, especially to like even like working out too, especially as a kid, be like, beauty is pain. And that's more like I don't know if that's like a psychological thing, but it was like, that was like, also I feel like, if it hurts, it's good, it's gonna make you beautiful.
Like plucking eyebrows, or
right? Plucking eyebrows,
like
constantly getting hair done, like, if you were like, my mom was making us go on, walks or like do workouts, like, beauty is pain, keep going.
What you women go through is I mean,
I
like
know.
that's
I know. We are warriors. We are warriors.
it's literally
Are there any that you can think of that I didn't cover?
so many.
Like what?
I don't want to get on my political side with it, but back to big food and big pharma.
Yeah.
Not that I'm a conspiracy theorist, but I do love my science.
Yeah.
Everything that's been done with the food side of things.
Oh,
The
okay. Well,
food
that's not
pyramid that was
fun.
terrible. I know,
Yeah, that's not a
but
fun.
it's all stuff that you can trace it back to the science that they followed because of money.
Yeah.
Again, not this is not conspiracy stuff. This actually happened.
Right.
That
Well, after Dope Sick from Hulu, I trust literally no one.
which one was the dope sick one?
The Oxycontin.
Oh, that one. Yeah,
You
yeah, yeah,
know,
yeah,
like
yeah.
I believe nothing the government is telling us. Like I feel like that
That
maybe
was the
like
FDA. They just
right where they're
followed the
like,
money.
yeah, it's great for you, Oxycontin. Everyone should have it. You know, it's like, and who is
It's
paying
true.
them?
In science, you can find studies and go both ways with
Where
multiple
is the
things.
money?
Follow the money.
Follow the money. Anything fun, or did you just want to be a Debbie Downer and talk about it how
Mostly Debbie Downer. Once we get on those paths, my brain stays on that one because it's some of this stuff is so ridiculous to me.
I will say I just thought of one other random one thinking about like beauty stuff is I always guess I wanted to shave my legs like really bad. Like that was another thing too, like when you're, a young girl, that was like the sign that you were cool too. It was like, oh, I can shave my legs now. And my mom always used to tell me, like, well, if you start shaving, you can never stop because it grows back twice as much and
I have heard
darker.
that one
And that is a
absolutely.
complete lie.
All the guys used to shave their chests to
Yeah.
try to get it to grow back more. Oh yeah,
Aww.
I had buddies in high school that used to do that. They would shave their chest or their legs just to get more hair to like look more masculine.
Yeah.
I have that one definitely heard.
Yeah. And then my mom got so mad at me because I used to get made fun of for like, I obviously have really, really dark hair, really thick hair. And I've always had like hairier arms. Like I just have like dark, long hairs on my arms. And I used to get made fun of and told I had man arms and that I looked like a monkey because I was so hairy. And I remember one time I shaved my arms in the shower, like, and didn't tell my parents. And my mom was like, what did you do? It's going to grow back like twice as much and it's going to be darker. Liars. Liars. Why are we lied to so much?
I think there's a lot of it. And I'll go back to my food argument. Because
here we go.
there were people that they followed on the science side.
Mm-hmm.
So somewhere there was some kind of proof that this may happen and
Right.
things can get embellished. I do believe in good in people, and rarely is this stuff done
right
100%
intentionally.
intentionally.
Like she's told this. And I think too, like, about the whole arm thing. So I remember like looking it up. And it's like when it first starts to grow back, the base is always going to be
Darker.
thicker
Yep.
and darker. Yeah. And as it grows out, then it becomes thinner. But like, immediately after you see it, it's darker and thicker. But then it, once it grows out again.
I had heard also that, and I don't know if I have to look this one up. This is not fact checked. But part of it was if you, especially as a woman, if you have more peach fuzz of hair, which
Yeah.
what women do,
Yeah.
and you're maturing so fast through puberty,
Mm-hmm.
so also a guy, right?
Right, and then you go
You
to
could shave
it. And
it takes a long time for that to grow back,
Right.
and it may come back looking thicker.
Yeah.
But at that age in your life, 3 months, 4 months,
Yep.
you can grow a lot of hair on your legs in a couple of months
Right,
at that age.
Right.
Now that one I've heard before. Again, I do not know if that's where this actually came from.
Right. No, but that's similar idea. But I will say, and this made me think of another one too. The other one was, and I feel like sometimes too, like, I'm like, were they just messing with me? Like my parents or like my older, like Nick, is if you swallowed a seed, which of course, like the watermelon seed, if you swallow a watermelon seed, it's going to grow.
That one I never heard.
Of you.
That one, just the fact you'd believe that is hilarious.
Well, what else I think drove it was like, did you watch the Magic School Bus? Was that what it's called? Magic School Bus with Mrs. Frazzle, I think her name is. It was like this cartoon.
No, I was probably in high school.
Yeah, that's right. I forget James is 74. Kidding, he's not 74. He has a soul of a 74-year-old though.
True.
But she basically is like this cartoon for kids
I
where
I know of it.
yeah,
I
where one of
definitely I can picture it.
yeah, you've probably seen it. One of the episodes, a kid swallows a watermelon seed and they like shrink down to be the watermelon seed and it grows like inside his stomach.
What a horrible thing to teach children.
I know. Well, now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, wait, is that what happened?
Is that why you think of it?
Well, you know what? I can't remember if it ended up growing. I can't remember how it went, but that was a great show. But I can't remember if that was like actually educational or if it was more like for fun, like LOL, giggle, giggle. You know, but I
Probably
believed
both.
it. Did you ever watch Are You Afraid of the Dark? Or hear
No.
about that?
Again, this is back when there were less TV channels, so you kind of came across everything at some point.
Yeah.
Because this is back when some of these probably were before you even had to like.
Did you watch Nick at Night, like Nickelodeon?
I knew. Oh yes, yes.
There was one show, and if you're listening and you're like a millennial, Are You Afraid of the Dark? It was so spooky, and like I don't know why that's like another show too that just like sticks into my brain. And I think about it on a daily basis. But anyways, anything else? Any others that you got in there that aren't going to depress us?
No, I've gone through my rants. Remember, anything that we said, I'll touch on the I don't like to discuss politics and religion. My joke about religious lying to us. Again, all those come from usually a really good place of people that wanted to do good things. So for anybody that got mad about that, I apologize. Please ask about it because it's more, all that stuff comes from a good place if you just be a good person, right?
Right.
Just don't want to go down a wrong path there.
Right. Well, you're going to be canceled on the internet.
I would have been canceled a long time ago.
So I know it's a tough world out there, James. It's a tough world. They'll rip you to pieces. All right. Well, speaking of being ripped to pieces, I don't know. That was not a good transition.
I thought that was a great transition.
Let's rip to pieces some voicemails from our favorite listeners. And as a reminder, if you want to send us a weird secret, maybe you have an irrational fear that we didn't mention that you want to call in, send it in. And you can either, well, you know what? I will say, please leave us a voicemail. I love the voicemails. I've gotten a couple DMs, and again, like I think we mentioned this before, it's just not the same like for us to read it as it is like
we like to hear
your voice, and it's just better. Like it's funnier if you say
we
it.
love hearing your stories.
Yes, and it is 100% anonymous. So if you call into
Speak Pipe,
so you go on your internet, they're like, some people are like, I can't figure it out. You go into the interwebs, the World Wide Webs, and you type in it's probably easy, and it's easier to do this on your phone. So if you're on your phone, you go to www.speakpipe, all one word, .com/weirdandproudpod, all one word. And you literally, it brings you to the site. You press a button, record. You can type up what?
Could you put the Speak Pipe link in your bio?
It is. I'm pretty sure it's in the Instagram bio.
Oh, yeah. Check out the gram then.
Yeah. So check out the gram if you really need help. And it's always too in the podcast caption. So if you're also like, what do I do? Go to the podcast caption. You can click that link and you literally press a button. You have 1:30 seconds to send us a weird secret, irrational fear, embarrassing story, something weird. Just make it weird. And with that being said, James, are you ready for our first secret?
Ready.
So I had a situation yesterday. I went to babysit a new family, and when I got there, the mom sat down with me for like 45 minutes, getting to know me before she left me with her kid. Like, cool, great, standard. And then she got up, said her goodbyes, put her jacket on, slammed the door, and left. Okay. And so me and the kid, his name is Laundry, by the way. Laundry, spelled the same way. So Laundry and I did our thing for like 2 hours. I made him lunch, we hung out, and then we heard this big thud in the closet, and we're like, what the heck? Like, what is that? Is there an intruder? So I grab a weapon, I grab a knife from the kitchen, and I'm like, let's go see what this is. And we open the door, and it's the mom. She hid in the closet for 2 hours to spy on us because she wanted to observe me with her kid. And when we found her, she was just like, "Oh, haha, you caught me. But now I know I can trust you, so please come back." But it is safe to say I will never be back.
Oh my God.
That's awesome. Thank you for calling in with that one. I have never heard of that sort of thing before.
That's crazy. Like you always hear people putting cameras, obviously, but someone who said, "What is the point?" Like, really?
If you're the mom, set up a camera.
Right, set up a camera, like call like for reference, like a reference, like
That's a caring parent. Let's say
right.
that.
Yes,
But that's a little crazy.
That's a
caring
little
parent.
crazy. Did you babysit as a kid?
Yes, I did.
I would babysit, and I hate babysitting. Here's like kind of a secret of mine.
I'm excited for this one.
I was the worst babysitter because I'm just like not a huge kids person. And I would change the clocks to their bedtime. Like I would come over like 5 and the parents are like, "All right, we're going out to dinner. Like we'll be home by 9. Kid has to be in bed by 7." And I would go change the clocks to 7 o'clock. And I'd be like, "Okay, it's 7 o'clock. It's time to go to bed."
Same person who's worried about their parents lying to them about having a light on in the car. Interesting. You guys are learning a lot out there.
Tables have turned.
So worried about who's lying to you, really not paying attention to
that I am straight up lying to these kids. Yeah. Wow, I didn't even realize it. Yeah. No, I'm a liar. I'm a liar. Yeah, I was not meant to be a babysitter. I think most of the kids hate me because they would like try to come out of the room and I'm like, "You got to go to bed. Like it's bedtime." Like, no. And they'd be like, "I think something scares me." I'm like, "Scary's in my room." I'd be like, "I literally don't care."
I like babysitting.
Well, that's great.
I had fun. I had some fun babysitters when I was a kid. And so I'd always sometimes the parents would come home and like we had built a fort, like we flipped over a couch or something. And so the parents would be a little upset. But the kids loved it.
I feel like I didn't have any good babysitters, and maybe that's why.
I had some really good babysitters when I was a kid.
Yeah, that does change you. And now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, like all my baby, like I wouldn't like
I learned the forts from one of my babysitters. We flipped all the couches over and we'd make forts.
I just remember we had this one babysitter who came over and she ate my entire jar of Oreos, and then she went into our bathroom and pooped so big. I remember me and Ian were like, "That's the biggest poop," and it clogged the toilet, and she just left it in there. And it was so disturbing. I remember we laughed for hours after that because we're like, "That is the most disgusting. That's the biggest poop." And she ate all my Oreos.
It
was
hilarious.
an Oreo poop. It was disgusting.
Back to the reason we're talking about all this. That was a great call.
Yeah,
Thank
sorry.
you for sharing.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh no, that calls spark
distracted.
discussion
Yeah,
sometimes.
it did, and I loved it. That was an amazing story.
I wonder, like, you have to feel violated as the babysitter that the person is in the closet.
Well,
the hidden camera makes more sense to me.
Right.
Like even if it's a nanny cam and they don't tell you about it,
yeah,
then that's on you. That's on you for not being a good person following through with it.
Right.
But hiding in the closet.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. All right. This is actually the last one we got. We're doing 2 this week. So buckle up. This is the second.
When I was younger, I had this best friend who we were like way best friends, like such best friends we would poop in front of each other. Like she taught me how to use a tampon type best friend. Anyway, we would always spend the night at each other's houses. And one night we were playing this game where we blindfold each other and make each other smell stuff like from the fridge, mostly food stuff. Anyway, so it was her turn to be blindfolded, and I thought it would be a great idea to wipe my butt with a tissue, and make her smell. And so she did, and yeah, it was. She's like, "Ew, what is that?" And like to this day, I feel so bad because how disgusting is that? And I'm 11 years old. I'm sure my ass was stinky. But you'll love this part. I own a bidet and I love it and I'll never go back.
Yes. Oh my God. That is hilarious. Did you ever play that game as a kid? Like, what do you smell?
I think I played that more in college than as a kid.
Oh.
But yeah, I played that before.
In college. Freaks.
I
What are you
don't
guys
know.
smelling?
We do weird stuff.
Oh my God. That's so hilarious because that would be like, as like
That's
your brothers, like we would do that too. And
what was the worst thing you had to smell from your brothers? I'm
well,
sure Nick.
They would
did
do
it.
like armpits or like they would fart, like a couple of my brothers would purposely fart, like in cup it. Like that was a big thing, like the cup and fart. I mean the cup and fart, the fart and cut, like they would cup it and then like like throw it in your face. But I'd also, I've done, I've done some weird shit too. I remember I literally would like put my hand up my vag and then be like, smell this.
To your brothers? Oh, that's hilarious. Oh my God.
And to my mom. Sorry, Mom. But I thought it smelled great. But I was also okay, anyways, it gets weird. That gets weird.
That's what the podcast is for. We're learning so much.
Oh my
today.
God, I'm dead. That was a risky game that I don't know. That's why maybe I'd been burned too many times as a kid. I wasn't playing that in college.
You were like, yeah, I was just going to say, now I can see why.
There are no rules.
I think part of the reason we did it was to try to make each other like throw up or gag or something.
That's nice. Yeah. A couple of friends just getting together, making each other gag.
Well, that's nice that she had a friend that was so close.
That is hilarious.
And then wiping your butt. That's a good move, though. I'm proud of you. At 11 to think of that, that's a good idea.
Well, it's like, it's like also the thing that you go to. It'd be like, yeah, I try and guess what the smell is. And it's like, let me shove my hands up my gape holes, make you smell it.
Which gape hole do you think this is?
Guess the gape hole. Which also, have you been using your tongue scraper?
I have not. I thought we were saving that for filming.
No, ew! I would never make someone watch us tongue scrape.
I don't know. It's
I'm
probably
sure
an
there
OnlyFans
is. I was
group for
gonna
that.
say, I'm sure there's a weird page. I got us some tongue scrapers. Everyone's ripping roaring about the tongue scrapers, so I got us some tongue scrapers.
They've been around a long time.
I know, but it's just everyone all of a sudden is talking about the tongue scrapers. I was like, I want to scrape my tongue, and I do find some fascinating things on there. That is something I would also,
There's
if you ever need something to smell, scrape your tongue and then smell what's on that thing.
There you go.
Especially like first thing in the morning. Woo! Yeah.
So there's some delightful things there.
Delightful. That was hilarious. Thank you so much for calling that in. That gave me a good chuckle. And a reminder that you can also call in to
SpeakPipe.
speakpipe.com/weirdandproudpod. You could try DMing me, but it's
probably
not going to be good.
Call in.
It's just so much funnier when you guys say it. I want to hear you say it. I want to hear you say it.
We love the stories.
And we love it. So make sure you call in. Make sure, again, you're on the YouTubes. Trying to decide again if I end up making 2 pages. I'm in a pickle. Also follow the Instagram. We just hit 1,000 followers on Instagram, James. And also our clip from last week went kind of viral. It got like over 100,000 views. But I shouldn't say viral. I sound like such a loser.
Why is that being a loser?
Well, I was talking about how we were all the top secrets, and
Yes.
that video did really well.
Oh, good.
So good for us. I feel like Instagram, like in the beginning when you're first growing your account, does like kind of throw you a couple freebies.
Well, it should.
Must be nice. No, I'm kidding. Anyways, with that being said, we love you guys so much. Next week when we talk to you will be April, so we'll have to find good April Fools. What do you think, James?
It'll be right around April 1st. April 1st is Saturday.
Yeah. Oh, what day is April Fools?
April 1st.
Okay.
Or am I fooling you?
Was I fooling you? I knew it the whole time.
I'm going to go with no.
Shh. Shut up. All right, you guys. We love you so, so much. You are the best ever. Make sure, and while I'm asking you to do all these other things, Make sure too, if you're on Spotify or podcast, because like I've been promoting the YouTube, also make sure, to give it a 5-star review. We would love that.
You know what we forgot to talk about?
What?
The state of Utah banned social media for kids under 18.
Shut up.
Yeah. You didn't see that one?
What?
Yeah. State of Utah banned kids under 18.
Shut the fuck
I
up.
should
How do
have
they
said
do
that.
that?
Probably when you put your age in or on any device, you have
Yeah,
to have
that's the
parental
thing is-
consent. It's the
yeah.
same thing as like it's just parental controls. I should have brought that up. I didn't think of it till like after we went through that. I go, oh my God, I saw that thing on Utah.
What? I need to fact check that.
Would I say something if I haven't fact checked something? Usually I disclose I have not fact checked
I
this.
don't know.
I can assure you this is a
Kinda
thing.
spooky. That would be crazy. Oh God, can you imagine if social media is banned? Like, what am I gonna do?
Just Utah. It's just under 18.
True. I forgot I am.
They don't buy
I
stuff
am
anyway.
Way over 18. So that's great. All right. With that being said, and my career down the toilet. Just kidding. Not yet. Maybe.
We got our drywalling business.
We always have our drywalling business. If you guys ever need your drywall,
check out our drywall OnlyFans.
We'll dry
page.
your wall for a hell of a deal. We love you guys so much. We'll see you next week. Have an amazing weird week.
Miss you already.
We love you, weirdos.